Already, we are on the brink of a potentially massive international trade war, global trade war, thanks to Donald Trump. And Crystal Ball here posts a video and sort of discussing the potential motives, putting context around a lot of things that don't necessarily or that just really don't make any sense. But when you start to look at it from a different perspective, you realize how there is some unfortunate sense to what's going on. So let's go ahead and watch this video and understand the situation.
All right, guys, question today. Is Trump intentionally crashing the economy? I've been entertaining this theory a little bit more lately because his economic moves just seem so stupid and terrible and counterproductive without thinking that he is intentionally trying to cause harm. So let me go ahead and walk you through the theory and you can tell me what you think. All right, so here is what Shoykat Chakrabarti, who was an aide to AOC and himself running for Congress against Nancy Pelosi now, here's what he had to say about this theory. He says, it really is confusing why Trump would want to intentionally massively shrink the US economy. None of this is due to external circumstances. He is manufacturing a recession. But it makes sense when you realize his goal is to create something like Russia, where the economy is run by a few oligarchs loyal to him. Creating that state is hard in a large, dynamic, powerful economy with too many actors who can oppose him. So he's accelerating, concentrating money and power into the hands of his loyalists while he crashes the rest. Very interesting and I think plausible. However, I would say that at this point, until proven otherwise, the primary actor in the government and in the economy is actually Elon. So I think it makes sense to think in terms of Elon's incentives here and what he may actually want to accomplish. And if you think back at the last economic crashes, both in COVID and in the 2008 financial crash, while initially everyone suffered, including the rich, out of both, the rich were able to buy up assets on the cheap and emerged even wealthier and more powerful than before. So in 2008, not only did they get their own custom bailout, but they were able to buy up housing stock at absurdly low prices. The rich got richer than ever, inequality skyrocketed, and the big banks got bigger than ever. Same deal with the COVID era recession. So while again, everyone suffered initially, there was a huge bailout package, which yes, did benefit ordinary people. But if you look at who came out really on top after COVID, after all was said and done, you could see people like Elon Musk, people like Jeff Bezos, people like Mark Zuckerberg getting far wealthier. Their net worths, which were already very high, skyrocketed beyond anyone's wildest dreams. So, are they thinking that another economic crash would once again inure to their benefit? Here's the other piece that's worth thinking about as well. Crash and crisis leads to governments and authoritarian leaders claiming more power for themselves. They can use the crisis and the emergency as a justification for taking on extraordinary powers and for taking extraordinary measures. Again, measures that can be custom fit to primarily benefit oligarchs like Elon Musk. What's more, in both cases, the economic crash in 2008 and the COVID crash both helped to facilitate the rise of fascist governments. So in 2016, obviously Trump 1.0, and now here we are back again, Trump 2.0. Obviously, that is an aim that Elon and Trump would both themselves support. So I don't know, guys. Well, we're running around here going, like, what are they thinking with these tariffs while they're slashing government spending? Don't they know that this is going to cause a massive contraction? Can't they see the stock market crashing? Can't they understand how this is going to be devastating for the economy? Maybe they do understand, and maybe that's kind of the point.
Right. So, as far as I understand it, the layers of what's happening are as follows. They're claiming that they are doing these excessive tariffs because of fentanyl coming through the northern and southern borders. We have to control the fentanyl. That's why we're able to, impose these emergency tariffs without going through congressional approval, etc. That's the legal justification. Obviously, economic tariffs and fentanyl flow at the border are not directly linked, but you can claim no, it's an incentive for those things to get improved. However, Canada and Mexico both did efforts to try to stem those things or in process of working on those situations, and the tariffs still went in place anyway. So, and a lot of people are speculating that that's not the primary concern. And um, when you listen to the Trump advisors and people in Trump's circle speak about these things, they mention the fentanyl situation, but they'll also sprinkle in ideas about manufacturing and jobs and bringing, sort of long-term bringing jobs back to the United States. Which, if you want to make a sort of core case for a potential positive outcome to the tariff situation, short-term economic harm for long-term economic benefit, bringing back jobs and manufacturing and sort of shifting the economy back into the United States rather than outsourced as it has been. That is a realistic argument that I could get along with. Is now, the way that it's being done in this sort of chaotic and haphazard manner, is that the way to do it? Probably not. Is there a way to do it without pissing off, our closest allies and making enemies with the rest of the world in the process? Yeah, there's probably much better ways to do that. But that's the way that Trump and them have chosen to go about doing it. Then there's this sort of third rail, which is, hey, look, at the end of the day, if these things fail miserably, if the short-term pain is much deeper and longer and harder and worse than even they expected, or well, even what some of the economists are expecting, recession, long-term, potentially depression, etc. And of course, the 1929 style depression stock market crash that Trump had predicted over and over and over again for Biden becoming a reality potentially for Trump. How ironic, of course, somewhat predictable. But that at the end of the day, if that worst case scenario comes to effect, then Trump already being in president, assuming this happens over the next, 18 months or so, 18, 24 months, what does he do? Does he use that as just an excuse to consolidate power further, to declare state of emergency, to declare martial law, to say, hey, no, I have to extend my presidential term. I have to be able to run for a third term because X, Y, and Z. This is outside of the bounds of the Constitution. This is an existential crisis, etc. Albeit caused by him and his policies and his proposals, along with Elon Musk, but using the crisis in a way to consolidate his power and give himself the excuse to continue on, just like sort of following the Russia model, like Crystal Ball points out, consolidating power in the circle of oligarchs, squeezing everything out, crashing the rest of the economy, leaving everyone else in shambles, while you are the only people with the sort of boat afloat to keep things going. Or any number of other dictators that haven't been able to consolidate their situation and power and continue being in the ruling in the governing seat. And then finally, the economic part, which I guess had not fully digested, but this makes absolutely clear. Every economic crash so far has rotated out and proceeded to basically vacuum billions and billions of dollars up into the wallets and stock portfolios of the wealthiest 1% and 0.1 and 0.0001% of people in this country, getting billions and billions and billions of dollars richer, while the rest of people see their wages stay exactly the same or go down, prices go up, hardship ensues, and the cycle continues. So it's not good, but this is what you people wanted and asked for. Um, so at the end of the day, guys, Trump's, and I've known this for a while. I've known this, even before January 6th and all that. You could kind of see the writing on the wall. The trajectory of Trump is the ultimate power. It just sort of, whichever way he can reach the ultimate pinnacle of power without any guardrails or any barriers to whatever that is. That's why they tried absolutely every and everything up and until the point of deploying the military to try to overturn the last election. And somehow we go ahead and just ignore that and move right on and elect him again. Now he knows where to sort of pull the levers beforehand, before that can even sort of become a question. And of course, that's what he's doing all along while we're distracted with markets and, Gulf of America and this kind of nonsense, that he is meanwhile firing top generals. He is firing top military lawyers, captains, you know, ethics committees and removing the ethics rules and all of these things so that there are just, one less guardrail every single day so that when push comes to shove, he might and they might be able to get through and consolidate power in a way that we have not seen in the 200 and whatever 50-year history of this country. So absolutely concerning. I could see it for a mile away. I wish the rest of us could see it just to not have to take this risk. Obviously, I'm not guaranteeing, I'm not saying that these things are going to happen, but that the trajectory is there, the potential is there, more than there. I mean, it's very much a reality that we're living in. It is pretty scary, and of course, regular people um, are the ones that get hurt at the end of the day. So these people are despicable. They have absolutely no moral code or core or character. They'll do whatever it takes for more money, more wealth, more power, because they are addicted to all of it. Um, and that's pretty much it at the end of the day. Let me know what you guys think. And thank you to Crystal Ball for the context and the new thoughts and ideas. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.